Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. You are not going to believe this. There was a segment on ABC's The View, yes, The View, with Joy Behar, Sunny Hostin, Anna Navarro, Alyssa Farah Griffin, and the rest of those kooks. And this specific segment of The View was good. And no, I'm not joking, I'm not being sarcastic, I'm sure you can't sense any sarcasm in my voice because there is none. The View actually did a good job. More specifically, Anna Navarro at The View was ideologically consistent, at least to a certain extent. Now, of course, this video isn't a The View redemption story or redemption video, because of course it's just one little segment in one show, but I have to admit I was not expecting Anna Navarro to actually ask real questions. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' Democrat challenger Charlie Crist showed up yesterday morning on The View, and he was probably expecting a total cakewalk, especially considering The View's history with Ron DeSantis. He probably thought that The View was the perfect show to show up on. Of course, we know The View co-hosts have a history of calling Ron DeSantis an evil person, a fascist. They call him Death Santis, and so he was probably expecting nothing but fluff questions, and instead, Anna Navarro actually grilled him, calling him a political mercenary, essentially alluding to the fact that the guy's a political chameleon. And if Charlie Crist picking a communist sympathizer as his running mate wasn't enough to sink his campaign, well then this, folks, this little interaction on The View is certainly the straw that breaks the camel's back. It's certainly the last piece of weight that's gonna sink the whole ship. Charlie Crist is done. Although, not exactly like he stood a chance in the first place. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on here. A Twitter user by the name of Brendan Leslie has a beautiful Twitter thread here. Let me show you guys what's going on. So of course, let's roll the tape. Alright friends, take a look at this tweet right over here. Brendan Leslie writes, Charlie Crist will be on The View today. Here's what co-host Anna Navarro had to say about him in the past. He comes with the receipts, showing tweets from Anna Navarro back in the 2014 to 2016 time period. Charlie Crist is the most shallow, feckless, rudderless, spineless, disloyal career politician I ever met. And that, folks, is a high bar. Appropriate Charlie Crist announcing in October. He's running again. He's like Jason from Friday the 13th. Dude just keeps returning in bad sequels. I cannot overstate how good it is to land back in Florida and know that Charlie Crist is done, done, done. I say it 3 times because of 3 parties, alluding to the fact that Charlie Crist used to be a Republican, then was an independent, and now apparently is running as a Democrat. She also wrote, Florida, this is further proof that there is a God, Charlie Crist. I will not be seeking office in 2016. And so Brendan Leslie comes with the receipt with the history showing that Anna Navarro absolutely despises political chameleon Charlie Crist. And before Charlie Crist shows up on The View, I guess what he was questioning was, will Anna Navarro actually go after this guy? And to everyone's surprise, she did. Something tells me Anna is going to completely flip the script. I'm honestly shocked. Anna Navarro did the right thing and held Charlie accountable. Take a look at this.
You've been in 16 elections in the last 3 decades. In that time, you've gone from a staunch Republican to an independent to a Democrat. Your own words, Charlie, have come back to haunt you, have been used against you. They were used against you. You did a robocall in 2006, which was part of a campaign, Republican campaign against you, and is now coming up again. And so I'd like us to hear it, and I'd like you to explain what the deal is.
So you don't have to debate DeSantis, you can debate Navarro.
Hi, this is Charlie Crist calling to set the record straight. I'm pro-life, I oppose amnesty for illegal immigrants, I support traditional marriage, and I have never supported a new tax or big spending program. I support a constitutional amendment to protect traditional marriage, and I oppose adoption by gay couples. And I work to ensure the right to display the 10 Commandments in public places. Floridians need a consistent conservative governor that they can trust. I would appreciate your vote on Election Day. Thank you so much, and God bless you, and God bless Florida.
So,
Yeah.
those are your words. What would you say to skeptics like me who think you've changed parties because you're a political mercenary and it was out of convenience? How should we trust you? How do you convince me?
I changed parties because my party changed. You know, it started with the rise of the Tea Party back in 2009 and 2010. And it really has metastasized since then. And, you know, I just couldn't stomach it anymore to see how, you know, not all Republicans. I don't want to paint too broad a brush here because there's a lot of good Republicans in Florida and in our country. And what I understand, though, is that the party has changed dramatically from what it was when I was a Republican. And what I've seen is that it's so anti-minority, frankly, this governor is, making it harder for African Americans to vote in my state, making it harder for senior citizens like my 90-year-old father, my 87-year-old mother. Mail-in balloting is more difficult in Florida now.
Banning books.
Pardon?
Banning books.
Banning books. I mean, it goes on.
You could tell that Joy Behar was seething with rage. They want so badly, they want nothing but to see Ron DeSantis get defeated. And luckily, thanks to Ana Navarro, I mean, you gotta give her credit. Credit where credit is due. ABC's The View might have just contributed significantly to the demise of Charlie Crist's campaign. Meaning ABC's The View just contributed to Ron DeSantis' re-election campaign. They did the right thing, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but Ana Navarro did a good job calling Charlie Crist a political mercenary, and demand that he explain his career of flip-flopping is the exact question that Floridian voters deserve answers to. How within the span of less than a decade, you go from a pro-life constitutional Republican to being on the side of the Democrats, who are advocating for limitless abortion, defunding the police, abusing emergency powers, acting like total authoritarians. How do you make that significant of a political shift in such a short period of time, especially when you're like 50 or 60 years old? You know, seeing young college socialist revolutionaries who were taught a couple things in their social studies classes, and extra little useless classes that they're taking for extra credits, seeing them going from, well, Karl Marx made some interesting points, to actually Karl Marx is kind of a dumbass, and I like freedom and capitalism. I mean, that's not unheard of. That's a quick shift in politics that we see all the time, but at least it makes sense. I mean, you're talking about young kids who are developing their worldview and political opinions. When you're 50 or 60 years old, you don't go from one end of the spectrum to the next and then back to the other end, unless you're completely dishonest and you're doing whatever at the time you think is going to be beneficial for you and your political campaign. Charlie Crist just views an opportunity here to possibly unseat Ron DeSantis. I mean, clearly it's not going to happen, but what if is probably what he's thinking. If I can manage to pull this off, then I will be a political superstar. Step aside, Stacey Abrams, I'm the new political hero. I'm the new Star Trek president of Earth. It's probably exactly what he was thinking. A high-profile election going after Ron DeSantis. Might as well register as a Democrat. Clearly, someone who's that much of a flip-flopper cannot be trusted. And it's the one thing that must be continuously exposed with Charlie Crist, and I was not expecting The View to do it. But really, this is what happens in elections when real questions are asked. This is what happens when the mainstream media is being fair to both sides. And it's just so funny how these Democrats show up on these shows expecting like they're gonna roll out the red carpet because their goal is not to ask you hard questions and to get to the bottom and get to the truth. Their goal is to make sure that the Democrat wins. It's a complete disgrace. Could you imagine Charlie Crist face these kinds of questions across the board on all of his media interviews? Could you imagine if every single Democrat candidate was asked legitimately hard questions ahead of major elections? I just have this feeling like there'd probably be less Democrats around, because when Democrats are asked real questions, they tend to seize up, they tend to go silent, they tend to panic, they hit the oh crap button, and they look absolutely awful. Actually, here's a great example right over here. After New Jersey Democrat Representative Tom Malinowski was confronted by a group of veterans during a campaign stop.
So are you helping me? No. You're making my life worse. And as you say, you're trying to change. You have accountability. You have the purse strings. You pay the bills.
Right. What we were successful at is saving all those jobs and rescuing almost all of those businesses. Right? So we now have the lowest unemployment.
That's a lie. I lost my business. Please don't lie.
I said almost.
Thank you.
Almost.
The pipelines were closed down, and the president sold oil to China.
We've been selling oil to China for the last 20 years.
Yeah, but in this crisis, he shouldn't be doing that.
It doesn't actually make a difference to the price of gas.
A big old yikes from me. But honestly, folks, when it comes to this whole Charlie Crist versus Ron DeSantis situation, I guess I'm kind of making the point that these questions are making a big difference, and that The View ended his campaign. But let's be completely honest here. When it comes to Charlie Crist, I mean, the guy never stood a chance. Let's be real. He's going against this guy.
2021, we set a record for domestic tourism in our state, because we were the only refuge of sanity in a world gone mad. That's why they came.
And of course, like I keep saying, like I will continue to maintain, he doesn't stand a chance. Poor little Charlie Crist, he just can't catch a break now, can he? I'd feel bad for him if he wasn't such a dishonest flip-flopping hack. That's what I got for you guys though. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna get back to work. Thanks for watching, friends, and I will see you on the next one.